I'm going to demonstrate the steps on how to make the final project for the hand tool class, the Tolpin Tote, designed by Jim Tolpin, a well-known woodworker and author. So I've got my material milled to about 9/16. I've got two pieces, a little over 3 inches wide, about 24 inches long, and then another piece that's a little over 4 inches wide and about four feet long. So that will be enough to create the project. These pieces will be used for the sides and ends. I'll get a side and end out of each of these, and on the longer part I'll get the handle piece and then the two parts that I'm going to use for the bottom that I'll glue together. So I'm going to get started by surfacing these parts. They've been run through a planer, but I wanted to smooth them with a smoothing plane before I start cutting them to size and working on the joinery. So I'm going to clamp this on top of the bench between the bench dogs. I want to just tighten this little as possible to hold this. Doesn't take much. And the dogs tend to lift up the material a little bit when they get tight, so I just want to knock those down flat. So I'll make sure this is nice and clean. I don't want any grit to dull my plane. And I'm going to use my smoothing plane to take off as little material as possible, but get this smooth. Get rid of any machinery marks left over from surfacing. So I'm looking to get a consistent shaving. I can see there was a little bit of snipe at that end. So I'm going to take passes across the board. Okay, that looks fine. Didn't take much to get that. Want to make sure your plane is set up before you do this. So I took about the same number of passes on each surface, so I'm pretty confident these are all very close to the same thickness. I'll use my number 5 to do the edge. Got my thumb here over the material. I'm pushing low on the plane. It's less likely to rock. There we go. Check it. Make sure this is square. That looks good. Next, I'm going to rip both these boards to just over 3 inches. I'm going to use the bandsaw for that. I could rip them by hand if I wanted, or if you want to, but I'm okay using the bandsaw for this purpose. So I've got the fence set just over 3 inches, about 3 1/32. We'll plane this edge, get it smooth. It'll take a few passes to get past that bandsaw surface and take a decent shaving. There we go. Let's see if that's square. That's looking good. That feels good. Now it's not taking off the middle, so it's, for whatever reason, this has a little bit of a hollow in it. Now I'm not shooting so much for exactly 3 inches in width. What I'm more interested in is the parts. The 2 parts are the same width. Now, because I planed this a bit, it's gotten a little out of square, so it's a little high on this right side, so I'm moving the plane to that side. Okay, so that looks okay. Now we'll see if these are the same width. They're pretty close. I think I'm happy with that. Well, actually, maybe not. Yeah, now that I set them like that, I did take a little more off of this one, so I'm gonna, which would make sense. I'm gonna take a few more passes on this piece. Okay, that feels good. I'm gonna flip them end for end just to make sure. Yeah, okay, that feels good. I'll cross-cut them next, shoot the ends, and then we can start on the dovetails. Before I cut the boards to length, I want to shoot one end of each one. So I've got my shooting board here. I'll measure 8 inches over on each board. and draw a line on there. And then we'll cut just past the line, shoot those ends, and do the next part. So I'm going to clamp the part in the vise like this. This gives me a little better angle because I really want to be, roughly 60 degrees to the face. I use my crosscut panel saw. I'm about 32nd or so from the line. So we'll go shoot these. Now on the length of these, I'm more concerned that they're the same length than that they actually match up with the 8-inch dimensions. So I'm going to check. They're pretty close. I'll take another pass or two off that one. Okay, so those feel good. I also need to shoot the ends of the ones I just cut.